Hello and welcome back to Film Smart. In this episode, we're going to talk about Warner Brothers' issue with the DC Cinematic or Extended Universe, as they call it. Obviously, we're this is our first podcast of the year 2018, so that's something exciting, I guess, Josh. It's been just over 4 years since we started Film Smart, and here we are now.
For a while now.
Yeah. So, because we started I think December 23rd, 2013. I think
that's so just over. We started the same year the DC Cinematic Universe or the DC Extended Universe started.
Yeah, we started. And part of our start came from the Man of Steel.
Yeah, that's true. And now we're chronicling the sad destruction of that same universe.
Only 4 long years later.
Only what would take usually 2 movies to come out. The whole thing is.
But that's the weird thing is Man of Steel came out in 2013 and they didn't have another movie until 2016. But so it's been all this. At this point, we could have had 7 movies.
DC they just have so many issues, and I think one of the main problems is leadership. One of the things that seems is there's a real lack of communication between even the filmmakers and executives, and even the filmmakers themselves, as in Zack Snyder, Patty Jenkins, and then I don't even know if they're communicating with James Wan, because what it seems like I'm just there's a little bit of discrepancy in Wonder Woman's stories, how her background is introduced in Batman vs Superman versus in the actual Wonder Woman movie, and I'm just thinking, does Warner Brothers, I mean, I don't even know what to address them as, because I'm is it DC themselves? But the division that handles DC characters at Warner Brothers, why is there not a syndicate with all of the creators on the team that they have one giant story map? Everything has one big.
They don't have a Kevin Feige.
Yes, they need that. They literally, you need that. You either need that or you need everybody, because without Kevin Feige, everybody has to be involved in everybody's movie, or else it just doesn't. Because I'm you guys, you have to tell Patty what's going on, or else you can't just tap random directors halfway through one movie being shot and be hey, can you direct this and write it? I'm just well, you're asking them to build upon somebody else's nightmare, because I could see now if they were building upon a very productive and affluent franchise that had already set up so many amazing things, but no, you're asking them to make gold that you would find in a coal mine. I'm sitting here they have this huge just hole. I mean, there's no way that any director or any writer can just come in and dig them out of it, because I would have a hard time. I love writing so many stories and doing things. I would just be frustrated to be a part of the DCE Extended Universe, because number one, they set everything up to fail already, because why would we care about any of these characters that don't have their own movie yet? Wonder Woman was so well received because, number one, it balanced the light and dark. It told a cohesive story. The villain was good. The villain was something that we can relate to, actually, because it happened. I mean, obviously not what actually happened, but the setting was something that actually is real.
Yeah, World War I.
And I'm just sitting here what the disconnect with some of these other movies, I'm just maybe they were focusing on, Zack Snyder, I feel the common gripe with him is that he does seem to focus on style over substance a lot, which I do see that in Batman vs Superman. He even, number one, why would he think that anything about the Doomsday sequence was even in any way other than Wonder Woman's introduction to the fight should have even ever been shown? I would genuinely be ashamed to have my name on that movie. I would genuinely be can you guys actually, here's my check back, and don't tell anybody that I had anything to do with this. Actually, here's my pseudonym, use that one, so I still get my check. But
I want the money. I want that DC money. They're not making a whole lot of money. But
yeah, I'm well, yeah. I mean, the whole $1.50 you can go buy a Happy Meal with it. I'm like, I don't know. The studio must be bleeding out money. I don't understand, but because I'm like, have they had a movie that was like exponentially profitable for them yet?
Maybe Suicide Squad. Just when you take in terms of it, expectations, it made a lot of money. And I mean, look, Batman versus Superman and Wonder Woman, they made a lot of money. They didn't. Wonder Woman did very well, but in the case of Batman or Superman, that did below expectations. But it still did good money. I mean, that's a lot of money. The problem is that it's a movie that should have easily made $1 billion, and so is Justice League. And Justice League is likely not even going to crack 700 million. And that's the problem, is that there's a diminishing returns.
That's horrifying.
Yeah. So like Wonder Woman did really well, but that's because it was well received.
I'm saying you need to know that word of mouth is what carries your movie, not the character being well known.
Yeah.
That gives you guys, you guys have a big opening weekend like 4 years ago with me. I mean, because what I'm saying is like, even their opening weekends haven't been like huge.
Mm-hmm.
As in like, they're not Star Wars level opening weekends. Or I'm just sitting here like, I mean, you guys, you have big opening weekends, but then you have humongous drops too.
But it's not even just the opening weekend or it's not opening weekend, not even just the word of mouth. In the case of like Suicide Squad, that was coming off of Batman vs Superman and Man of Steel, which were both at least divisive and Batman vs Superman considered to be pretty bad. So when Suicide Squad came out, what it had going for it was it had good trailers, good marketing.
Mm-hmm.
No one can deny that, and it had people who looked interested. It's like, oh, who's this Harley Quinn? What's Will Smith doing? What's this Joker doing?
It literally had nothing to do with Batman versus Superman other than being connected and having with Batman in the trailer. I mean,
they weren't separated.
Yeah, I was saying the movie wasn't about them. And
no, it was.
It's cool that they were in the same universe, and it also had this like millennials like to look at like really weird and faux artsy stuff. So when they saw like Enchantress waving her head around and Cara Delevingne just looking like stupid, when they saw her like doing that and magic dust coming out of her and things like that, and like different just cartoony colors, I feel like that's really what drew a lot of people in, because visually, I mean, the movie it was cool from the trailers, and even with the way they had everything, like the way they had character trailers. I remember that actually.
Yeah, and the first Comic-Con trailer with the slowed down music and all that. I mean, it was.
And the soundtrack. So the album sold a lot.
Yeah, it had contemporary people.
I'm pretty sure it sold like 800,000 copies.
Yeah, it did pretty well.
That's awesome. That's really good.
Yeah. So like the movie was garbage and terrible, and people realized that, I think. But it had good marketing and interesting sort of premise going for it, and it was separated enough from the the trash pile. But they didn't realize that it itself was also just as well a part of that trash pile. But
imagine if
polished.
I just think that it would have been amazing if Suicide Squad was a great movie, because they easily could have. I really feel like they easily could have just ignored everything else and just kept going as Suicide Squad movies. But because I was like, Batman and Superman weren't essential to the movie pretty much at all.
No, they would say like, we need this in case someone like Superman got went crazy. Although the Suicide Squad, as if they could ever do anything to.
That's why I said, actually, give me a break. Wonder Woman could take out the Suicide Squad alone.
Yeah, I mean, Batman literally took out some of them.
Yeah,
that's the funny part, is they would flash back to him taking out multiple different Suicide Squad members. Literally, the least powerful person is taking you out.
And dang, they really had a great cast.
Yeah.
DC, what are you doing? How do they keep getting these fun, like great actors to be in the?
I think people see the Marvel movies and they say, "I want to do that," and then DC asks them, "All right, close enough."
Yeah, I'm like,
they're going to do that anymore.
No way Marvel didn't like approach you guys first, or maybe Marvel's smart because they're getting these people that they don't have to pay that much.
Yeah, and then every once in a while they'll add a Robert Redford or.
Yeah, they'll add. I mean, they add some people, and they add.
What did you say?
They add them in the right role. Robert Redford was in the perfect role.
Yeah,
like I was like, he was actually like for Winter Soldier. I thought he was in the perfect role. So there's some other things. When you have a very serious or respected actor, put them in a respectable role. Like actually make use of them. Don't make them some villain that you cover in horns and makeup and
Yeah.
have them like saying the most cliche lines of villain. Your world will crumble. Blah, blah, blah. Like, okay, number one, can we get rid of the? Can we just stop the whole "your world will crumble under my blah blah blah" and then giving them a British accent to make it seem like legitimate?
Yeah.
Okay, not every alien who's evil needs to be British.
Yeah, I don't get where that. I still don't get why we always have to like make characters and villains British or whatever. Like it's.
Yeah, I'm like, I guess because Americans think British people are intelligent,
which they're just as dumb or smart as we are. I mean, I guess maybe their education system is better, possibly. I guess, but I don't know where that idea came that we're so.
They're just as
they're so much smarter. Yeah, they're like, oh, they have a sophisticated accent, which a lot of them don't have sophisticated accents, by the way.
I know. Yeah, it's like anybody some of them are not as pretty as you think.
Yeah, anybody who listens to us from the UK, all of two of you, like maybe I don't know, but if you are from the UK and you listen to us, you well know that there are different well, is a dialect the right word? I don't know, but there's different accents within
accent
the UK. Yeah, so they don't all speak. Exactly
so
like Helen Mirren.
Yeah, people. I think I don't know. People just have. I don't know. Hollywood has just created this image, this false image, and back to like even what I was just saying was just like the villains are just corny, and then
Steppenwolf. Yeah,
there's a real lack of like Steppenwolf even before the reshoots. I don't think that at any point Steppenwolf was ever a good villain.
No,
I mean, I'm not saying Joss Whedon ruined the movie or anything. I don't think Steppenwolf, because even the editing and all that stuff, Steppenwolf doesn't seem to have ever had a good background planned out for him. He always was lame.
Yeah.
He doesn't even have a well-developed face.
I will say this, though, to defend DC. Marvel, that's the case with a lot of Marvel villains. And DC
but at least they make up
by focusing on the heroes more.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying.
And I thought that was one of the movie's kind of strengths.
Yeah, with Marvel, you can forgive the villain being bad because usually the hero is phenomenal. But but one movie that knocked it out of the park in every dimension, Captain America: The Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
Everything about that movie, every character is essential. Every character is amazing. The plot is amazing. The cinematography is amazing. The direction, every performance from every character is good. There's no weak link in that movie. I'm just like, this movie is. Why is every comic book movie not on par with this?
And the cool thing about the last two Captain America movies, Civil War also, is that there isn't like a big brooding villain. The villain, the idea of the villain is because like Robert Redford was the villain, but he wasn't going to fight anyone. These characters, the villains were like the Winter Soldier, or the villain was Iron Man, or whatever. In these teams, or I mean, the real villain in Civil War was Zemo, but the physical villain was the villains or the antagonists. The physical ones are actually, it's kind of a gray area. They're actually they're either used as tools, or they've been manipulated, or they're really emotional or whatever. That's a complexity that made those movies stand out.
I think I prefer that type of villain because Doomsday is boring to me. Steppenwolf was boring. I like General Zod, but I like General Zod because we got to actually see at the beginning what life was like on Krypton, and then the fact that he was literally programmed. So he existed literally only to protect Kryptonians.
Yeah.
So no matter what, he was going to keep trying.
He was almost like a robot.
Yeah, I would say like that was in his DNA, literally, to just keep trying to do that. Which I saw it on some other place. I think I was watching somebody's YouTube video, and they were still having that issue with why didn't Superman put him in prison? Where exactly was he going to take General Zod?
Yeah, that's so stupid to me.
I don't understand why you guys think that he wouldn't have had to kill him. Where else was he going to take him? There was no
can destroy everything, and is suddenly he a carpenter?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, number one, there was no history of superhuman like anything, so why would they have a prison that could hold them? Number two, where was Superman going to take him? General Zod has the same powers. If Superman can survive in the place, he could come back too.
Yeah, that's such a lot of the complaints are just so stupid. with that movie. It just,
Yeah, I'll be like, you guys really don't know why you don't like Man of Steel, do you?
yeah. What did you think he was going to do with him? Of course, he had to kill him.
And first of all, I really love that he had to kill him too.
And look, if you're, yeah, and I agree. But if your problem is, wait, I wish they hadn't done that in the first movie, fine. But your problem cannot. But people don't say that. They say what you just said. They wanted him and to put him in. No, that's
like he doesn't have. There's nowhere. You know what? Whatever. If you say that, just know that we think you're stupid. So at this point, it's 2018, guys. Stop acting like that's a legitimate like gripe on the movie. Now, there are other issues that are very legitimate, but I'm like, now if somebody could tell me where he would have possibly taken him to the government, what were they going to do?
Yeah, what's the government going to do?
They couldn't even keep. They put handcuffs on Superman. Obviously, they didn't know what to do.
They'll kill him too. I mean, he'll kill them too.
Yeah, that was the whole point. He said, "I'm just going to kill as many people as I can."
Yeah, that's basically the whole point of the Suicide Squad. Why they meet in the one we have to. Now again, the Suicide Squad again. My problem with that premise is that these are characters who even their most powerful, Diablo, who is by the way dead, even their most powerful couldn't do anything to Superman.
Yeah, I was like, oh yeah, he still wouldn't be. Well, isn't he magic?
I mean, they might bring him back. I don't know.
I mean, it doesn't matter. Superman could still like blow him to smithereens.
Yeah, regardless if he's brought back or not, he can't do anything against him. They can't do anything against Shazam or Wonder Woman. Most of them can hardly do anything against Batman. So this idea that these are sole defenders if Superman goes bad is, I would find that disturbing. If that was real life. So
I need to see some good stuff. Like, what was that in the old? Was that the old? What story is that from? Where Wonder Woman snaps Maxwell Lord's neck on live TV?
I don't know. I remember that, but I don't know.
Was that from George Miller's? I don't know. But I remember hearing that when she snaps his neck and like it destroys the reputation of Wonder, like her reputation, and nobody, like the public does not trust her to be their hero anymore. And I'm like, that's the type of drama I need if you're gonna do like hero Fallout type stuff where the public turns on them. Like, have to be legitimate. They don't see like the Justice League. They think, oh yeah, they saved the day, woo woo, yeah. But when you actually see them kill the person,
that's
and you realize they really are. Yeah, Wonder Woman can be brutal.
She's a much darker character than Batman and Superman. And when you actually get down to the killing and how she's like a warrior, she's way harder than them.
And I wish that we get what is that line she says? I think there's a reason why your fight is always ongoing. Like she said something like there's a reason why she says it to Batman. She was like, because you allow your enemies to live. She was like, I take care of mine.
Oh, did she say something like that?
She said something. It was like it might have been in the cartoon. Oh. And she says like, I don't remember. She says it. I'm just like, wow, that's a good. Like they need to bring that into a movie because it was serious. Like she was like, listen, I just kill my enemies because anybody I'm fighting is legitimately dangerous, which Batman is too because he's fighting people who are psychotic and terrorists. Yeah. And I'm just like, Batman, you actually are doing a disservice to Gotham by not killing these people.
Yeah, that's actually one of the interesting things. At one point I had like a crisis with Batman. I was like, why? He's a terrible character. And then I realized that's what makes it interesting.
Is that he doesn't kill them?
Is that he's bringing this upon himself.
Yeah,
and so
he likes it.
There's a great conflict. Yeah.
If he took all those people out, he wouldn't have any purpose.
Yeah. And he knows, and he always says that if he killed the Joker, whatever, he'd become the Joker. And maybe that's kind of true, but he'd be killing bad people. So he'd be like Dexter, really.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I think that's what makes it interesting. The thing I'm worried about with Wonder Woman is that what we were just talking about, her being darker and killing, that I don't know how they reconcile that with the Wonder Woman we have, because that Wonder Woman is more of what people love from the movie, and what I'm hearing from a lot of people who love this movie is that she defends herself.
Yeah.
She's more about protection and taking care of people and loving people instead of just instantly just killing them. However, I think by defending, that's generally when she kills people is when she's defending herself.
Yeah.
And so you can probably deal with that. But I don't know if there might be a rude awakening for some people when they realize what kind of character she actually is, because there is
Yeah.
kind of a darker history to her.
Yes, Wonder Woman will chop your head off.
Yeah, and she won't think twice about it, and she won't regret it.
Yeah, so she'll think it was necessary.
Yeah,
It was most of the time.
no, yeah. Usually, it's. I mean, every once in a while, like in the Flashpoint, or I don't know when she killed Maxwell Lord, if he was like actually attacking her. I doubt he was. He attacking her?
He was. I mean, I think he had betrayed the whole Justice League. Like, I think he was.
Oh, okay.
He had like a lot of technology, and it ended up betraying them somehow.
So it was kind of a retaliation. It sounds like what she did.
Yeah, she. I think she gave like a speech too. Though it was like really chilling. I remember being shook, like reading it, and being like, "Wow, that would have actually been amazing," or whatever. No, this has happened. This was in a comic book. This actually, because I can look. I'm like looking at the art in my head,
Mm-hmm.
or maybe I'm imagining the art. No, it definitely happened in a comic book. But yeah, I just remember. Yeah, she holds his hand in one hand and snaps his neck with just one hand.
Mm.
I think she like breaks his jaw. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, see, that could be an interesting thing.
And it broadcasts from like one of his cameras.
Mm.
Like something, yeah. So she doesn't realize she's being recorded.
Oh,
I'm like, dang. I think he wants her to kill him because he knows what's gonna happen. I'm like, dang, that's calculated.
yeah,
Now
that
I
could
just,
be.
I want reinvention almost. If DCU had with Marvel, where everything
is kind of fake. You're getting muffled, Josh.
I would love. Am I better now?
Yeah.
I said I would love for DC to be a reinvention of superhero movies, or at least try to be very smart. Like, I mean, I'm like, why don't you guys be the Black Mirror of superhero movies? Like, just have every movie be super unique. Because I mean, there's so many storytellers out there. I know some of these writers have some stuff up their sleeve, and make sure every movie has like some. So, number one, that it tells us something about ourselves. Now, I want every movie to have a purpose. Now, I think that, like that there can't be Justice League just exists. It doesn't say anything.
Yeah, it was trying to say stronger together.
Yeah,
but much like Hillary Clinton's campaign, it fell apart.
Yeah, and that was just like marketing techniques. I get that, yeah, but I was like, okay, well then can you make it like that actually sell that in the movie too?
Yeah,
because I'm like, you guys are just dysfunctional together. That's all it was.
Yeah,
and I feel like if DC finds a way, because I was like, at this point, yeah, if they're just going to be doing like hero villain movies, then yeah, of course people are just going to always consider them second to Marvel. They really do have to spin their own flavor on these movies and be. I think they just have to really knock it out the park every time and be like smart. Because Marvel, yeah, Marvel has found like a safe zone where they make their movies, and they have a flavor and people like the taste of it. So yeah, let Marvel have that, and then you guys have to find a way. At this point, if you just copy Marvel, then I don't think you're gonna ever take off because we already have Marvel characters to do that with.
Mm-hmm.
We're already invested in those. So if we just see another Superman movie that's just like that, we're gonna be like, okay, well, is Iron Man gonna show up? Like, I mean, that's the. So if you come up with something that's unique or has some type of, I mean, which also the dark thing. Now, I don't think people would care. They wouldn't be mad that the movies were dark if they were good.
Yeah, of course.
I say a lot of movies are dark, so I don't. It was never the issue that they were dark. It was that it was almost like dark over. They made it dark because they felt like. And I feel like they made it dark because they felt like they had to. I don't know. They were trying to give it some type of false sense of legitimacy by making it darker and brooding and like, oh look, we're more serious, we're darker, so you can take us seriously. Mm-hmm. Now, don't be self-aware. Like, be aware that you're still a comic book movie, but at the same time, you still be smart. Now, I think there were times in Batman versus Superman where there were very smart moments, as in like, I was like, okay, well, I see that this is actually exploring the whole. If heroes did exist in the real world, like how would things happen? But then it just got so cartoony with the actual villain that I was just like, okay, well, the Holly Hunter, her role, I love Holly Hunter in that movie. and I love her that whole
Oh,
story.
yeah, she was great.
Yeah, I thought that there was a lot. There are good things in Batman vs Superman. I think they're genuinely good things. I think overall it's a terrible movie, but
yes,
but I think that if they continue to explore that, like, do heroes need to exist? And I mean, they keep popping up, and that an issue is. And then Holly Hunter even says it in the movie. Well, I forget her name, I'm just gonna keep calling her Holly Hunter, but she says it in the movie. They go, "Tell us, does the world need Superman?" And she goes, "Well, there is one." Like, she's like, "There is one."
yeah,
That's really it. It's the world has to deal. You don't have an issue. You don't have a choice.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is, like, keep having that, because obviously there would be conflict between, they might be saving our lives, but at the same time, there is always going to be a big group of people that's like, well, yeah, if you guys didn't exist, they wouldn't be coming here.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's other people
That's
too.
what Civil War dealt with.
Yeah, yeah. If you guys didn't exist, then why would they wouldn't, you create them by defeating
There's a correlation.
Yeah, or even Star Wars, the darkness and the light always rise at the same time to meet
darkness comes and the light comes to meet it, or rises to meet it.
That's natural. Yeah, when a hero rises, a villain's going to rise too.
Yeah.
So I'm saying, like, the creation of these heroes is going to create villains, and do something with that. I mean, that might be like a dead end story to tell, but I think in that vein of that type of theme, I think they have a lot of things to tell. And then I'm just remembering things about for Superman, like when he saves that family from the flood and he floats down like the Messiah. I love that shot.
No, it's a good shot.
I'm like, wow, they had some visually. That's one thing. Yeah, good visually. But anytime anybody opened their mouth or the actual plot was you realize that the movie was garbage.
Well, yeah, because they would read off lines, like Jesse Eisenberg would say stuff that you could tell that when they wrote it, they thought that they were really saying some profound stuff.
Yes. And I was just like,
seventh graders, just unbelievable.
Not everybody has to be a genius in the movie. Okay, you get it? Now, we already had Neil deGrasse Tyson. We don't need to have Lex Luthor be philosophies and things about paintings he has. Okay, we get it. Everything's biblical. Like,
and then there's all these like fans online who are kind of pretentious and think that it's the best movie of all time, and that because of its darkness and its realness or whatever. I'm sorry. There is plenty of complexity that you can get into without it being dark, or with it being dark, or without all these vague lines that Jesse Eisenberg is saying. Logan is a dark movie that is way more complex and is way more interesting to watch. So, yeah, and the Dark Knight trilogy. I mean, I don't know why. If you really like the movie, that's fine. But there are some fans online who are like, if you don't like it, or you're an idiot, or
Marvel
people just don't understand it.
Marvel's
you're paid, or you're paid by critics or paid by Marvel. Or, yeah, critics are paid by Marvel.
I guess we're paid by Marvel.
Yeah.
But I know what they pay us with. Good movies.
Yeah, we are paid by Marvel, yeah.
So yeah, with the whole, so is the general public that didn't go see Justice League. Yeah. I'm like, yeah, they're being paid all right with good quality movies.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's a sense of trust that I think they have.
Exactly.
I was watching. What was I watching? I think it was adults react or like teenagers react to the Wonder Woman trailer.
To the what trailer?
To the Wonder Woman trailer. I was watching an old video just to see like how it was received. Everybody loved the trailer, but almost everybody who was a prior fan, even if they were a comic book fan, they all said, "Man, I'm really excited for this movie. It looks good, but DC has just keep letting you down." Yeah,
because that's the thing is people notice.
Yeah, your brand is failure. So I'm just saying, at this point, there is no course. I don't think there's really any course correction. Like, because you've already kind of ruined all three of your Trinity. I mean, Wonder Woman is good, but at the same time, like, she's appeared in 2 bad movies. So, like, Wonder Woman smashed, and then a few months later, Justice League couldn't even pull in the same number. So obviously, no. I think part of her box office was actually the novelty of it being a female lead. But
yeah.
That's not bad.
That movie might end up getting nominated for Best Picture.
Yeah.
It's getting, and that might be reinvigorating for them. I don't know. The movie itself wasn't reinvigorating because they went right back to garbage town with Justice League. It was
And I'm like,
slightly better garbage. Like it felt like they had gotten it down a little better than Batman vs Superman.
oh no,
But
I think it was both were uniquely terrible. Like they were like they found unique ways to be just horrible.
see, I thought Justice League was ununiquely bad. Like it was a standard comic book movie, but it was bad.
I
Like
mean,
it was.
it was in like Batman and Robin. Like it was, I don't know. It was just like it's so silly that it's just bad. Like to me, the villain. One issue with me with Justice League. No, actually, let me just go through like quick fire. That's a throwback. Let me just
quick fire.
quick
Okay. Yeah, we canceled that.
Number one. Yeah, what a flop. But one of the issues that I have, I think, with Justice League might have been the fact that no, not even might have been. Let me just say these things. I don't like the movie. let me not even be. It's 2018. Let's be unapologetic.
Tell us how you really feel, Josh.
These characters were totally unrecognizable from before.
Batman?
So even I'm a Man of Steel fanboy. I absolutely love Man of Steel. I love that movie with everything in it. Superman, yeah, he even changes from Man of Steel to, which obviously, yes, he's going to change after he has to kill somebody. Yeah, okay, sure. We get that. He changes. Number one, in Batman vs Superman, he was boring as a sack of bricks. He was boring. And then in Justice League, he's boring, but also comes back as, I forget what the male version of a Mary Sue is, but like, okay. When he comes back, it's too easy. Like he comes back and fights them. And then they kind of just get over that. Like over the fact that he's crazy at first. And it's like, okay, wait, Lois Lane's here. Now I'm totally sane again. And then I save the day at the end with no struggle whatsoever.
Yeah.
Number one, there was no bit of plot in the movie that was at all compelling or at all worthy of being shown on a movie. Number one, the fact that this movie even was released was a disrespect, was spit in our face from Warner Brothers. Mm-hmm. Like the fact that they even allowed this to happen, I can't believe that this movie was like, they should have had a disclaimer. This movie is horrible.
And we were talking about.
I mean, there's not even like, it's not even redeemed by, there's not even a cool fight scene.
No, there isn't.
What can you even, what redeeming quality is there? The fight choreography was god awful. Parademons look stupid.
Batman looked like he was on a set at the beginning of a movie.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, I was like, okay, what is this? The Warner Brothers set. And then
they're like, let's make the Arkham games real.
And then Wonder Woman, actually Grace Randolph pointed that out, but the more I see it now, I hate her hair. In the movie, her hair looks so much better in Wonder Woman. And then the Amazons look weird. The transition from Wonder Woman Amazons to Zack Snyder Amazons, what? And then the gods were poorly. I feel like they were just thrown in there when they're all dead in Wonder Woman. So I'm just like, I don't know. There were so many things. I was just like, these movies just, number one, they ruin a lot of potential by just skipping over huge parts of these characters' lives. And because not necessarily, we don't need the coming of age, but like coming of purpose moments. That's one value I think that an origin story actually would have done for you need to know why the Flash saves people. Like,
yeah,
I don't think people realize like just because you have superpowers doesn't make you inherently like out to be a hero.
Just as easily become bad.
Yeah, so I'm like, why is the Flash a hero? Why does Cyborg? Like, I mean, we get Cyborg. Yeah, he kind of finds purpose in the Justice League, which I think they actually did a good job. They gave us a good. Actually, I would kind of actually be excited to see Cyborg if we hadn't already seen like everything we've seen.
Mm-hmm.
If I got that promised in his own movie, love to see that movie. Because at first I remember I was like, a Cyborg movie would be boring, and then I was like, actually no, it would be pretty good if they do it right.
Could be interesting.
Yeah, because I was like, I actually love
like a Flash Cyborg movie.
I love when he what is he calls his dad a monster. He's like, are you afraid of the monster? Or something like that, like Frankenstein, something like that. And he's just like, what made you think I was talking about myself?
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, that was actually a good line. Like, that was one line that I was like, that was actually good. Cyborg read his own dad. Like, I was like, that's actually kind of good. And that was one thing I was actually pleasantly surprised by. But I mean, he still sucks in the movie. But like the CGI
Yeah,
looked for Cyborg, I actually did not like that at all. I thought Wonder Woman's fighting was really bland. She didn't have as much. I feel like there wasn't as much. I don't know. Even the fighting in Wonder Woman the movie, um, the fights might have actually been my least favorite part too. So, because especially the
yeah,
Ares versus Wonder Woman fight, I really don't like that fight. It's boring.
yeah. One fight I really liked in this universe was Batman against the goons when he's saving Superman's mom.
Yeah,
I like
that's a
that was a
great
good fight.
number one. Whatever happened to choreographed fights? Like, as in,
Hmm.
like having really good, like showing skilled fighting. I love like Wonder Woman is a warrior. They showed us on an island of her getting trained by their greatest warrior in history. Shouldn't she have some form to her fighting? Other than swinging her sword around.
Yeah.
So I don't. Well, okay, but yeah, I'm like, I guess she hasn't really had a villain that truly challenges her on that level yet, from hand to hand. I can't wait
Hmm.
until we get that. But
So after having said all that, obviously we know Warner Brothers is moving full steam ahead. They have Aquaman in the can, which they had that in the can pretty more or less. They were done shooting before Justice League came out, so that was already
mhm,
going to be done. Wonder Woman's a huge success. They're going to want to. They're doing the sequel. It's coming out sometime in 2019. I think it was originally scheduled for December, but I think it got moved because that's when Star Wars is coming out.
yeah,
Uh, so that wouldn't have been a good idea. It would have hurt both of the movies. Um, and then so they have those going on. But then recently they said they've released all these. What they love doing these last, they've done it like the last 3.5 years or so, where they just release a whole list of movies that they're going to planning on making. Most of those movies we still haven't gotten. But anyway,
yeah.
they're
They did used to just tell us like, okay, look, we're gonna make
yeah.
100, and then I think, what do you think they gauge interest?
I yes, I think so.
And number
But
one,
I don't know.
that's why they keep failing.
Yeah, because they're kind
I
of
remember,
fair weather.
yeah, exactly. I'm like, okay, well, you guys are number one, you don't have any plan. Number two, the public can't decide because number one, the only people that pay attention enough to these things are the fans. So, like, you need to you need to give people what they didn't know they wanted.
Yeah, and a lot of fans, by the way, are nuts.
Yeah,
But on top of that, the movies, the problem with Batman and Superman is they heard, and Man of Steel, is that they heard they were too dark for people. So their idea was to add jokes to Suicide Squad and Justice League. And for some reason, that didn't affect Wonder Woman at all. It all seemed pretty natural. But with Suicide Squad and Justice League, they literally would reshoot scenes to make them funnier. And,
it wasn't reshoots.
huh?
And for Wonder Woman, it didn't seem like they like were because there were times
No.
where I could tell that this was like reshot, or that
Yeah.
this.
And yeah. And all movies do reshoots. There's nothing out of the normal. But, Justice League was extensive reshoots.
And
Uh,
it's sad though because that movie feels like two movies. As
mhm.
in, like there'll be scenes that I'll be like, wow, this really like flip flops between two completely different flavors.
And part of me feels like neither of the movies would have been that great either.
Yeah, I'll say no, they're both garbage.
Like to me, it's like there's three bad, not great movies. There's Joss Whedon's not that great movie. There's Zack Snyder's not that great movie, and then there's the movie we got. And I
Mm.
didn't think any of them were that great. And because people, we need to see Jack or Zack Snyder's original version. I don't
It,
want to see it.
as I say, it'd probably be 6 hours of garbage.
Yeah, that's the like it's it's a tragedy what happened to him and all that. But I'm sorry, I don't care what his original movie looks like. Just as much as I wouldn't care what a full Joss Whedon's version. I,
Mm.
I I just think it was a bad, and that's not blaming Joss Whedon because he didn't write the script or anything, but I think it just was not a great script. They had I think some of the ideas of focusing on the heroes, that was a good idea, but I don't know, it wasn't, it just
And then
didn't work.
one thing I just had an idea. I would have loved to have Superman's return be like its own movie.
Hmm.
Because I remember seeing Superman Returns when I was younger, and I know he was
Yeah.
just gone and came back. He didn't die in Return, like that's it, like at the beginning.
Mhm.
But I would love to have them have like another Superman Returns movie, and that be the resurrection of Superman somehow. I don't know how they're gonna do it, but have the whole movie, that'd be like the central part of the movie is him coming back into being a hero, or
Mm-hmm.
his decision when he comes back. Am I still going to be Superman? Like, am I? I don't know. Like, there
Yeah.
has, like, what is his identity now that he's died and come back? Like, you are changed after that.
Yeah, I didn't feel like he had changed, and maybe they'll show some more of that.
And then he came back. I mean, not feel like there was any real, or like, I'm like, you were dead for a while, and then I mean, you were dead, and then you come back and you decide to fight the whole Justice League,
Mm-hmm.
and then Lois Lane shows up. You go to the farm, and you're just okay, and then you come back happier than ever and defeat Steppenwolf, and then everybody's good.
Yeah, and then they do an end credit scene of him having fun, racing the Flash.
I was like, when was Superman ever this happy?
So I don't know. I
I
thought
think
maybe they could do something interesting with it, but maybe they won't.
I think that actually Zack Snyder was going to do something with that, but it might have. I think his cut might have dwelled too long on it.
Hmm.
Because I really think that's something Zack Snyder would love to do is explore, but I think he would have made it to the point where it was depressing. So like
I
explore
think
him coming back and Superman would have been down and out for a little bit. Like he would have been upset for a long time.
Mhm.
And then, I don't know. There would have to been because it seemed like he also came back stronger than ever.
Yeah,
I'm like, can we
I've heard a
have
lot
him?
of people say that.
Can we have him regaining his power? And like that's why the fight would have been interesting. Like I hate that it seemed like the rest of the Justice League was rendered useless.
Hmm.
Because like I felt like that. I was like, wow, Aquaman and Wonder Woman are useless.
Yeah, Aquaman didn't have a whole lot to do. Batman was also, totally useless.
Yeah, Flash was useless. He didn't know how to do anything. Cyborg
Yeah,
was he. I mean, he was like figuring things out that we already knew Batman probably could do.
they actually made a point of showing how useless Flash was by
Yeah,
having him push the truck and then showing Superman take the apartment building or whatever.
yeah, and I'm just like, so like doesn't Flash move at like unbelievable speeds? He couldn't move these people individually before any of that even happened.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
I'm like, first of all, Flash is supposed to be, so I'm guessing like Flash runs a little bit faster than a car or something, because the way that they have it, I mean, the way they have it like figured out, it seems like he doesn't actually run that fast.
But then they have him like disappear in front of Gordon almost.
Yeah, I'm like,
I
I
don't know.
don't
It's
know.
weird. It's whatever suits the scene, really.
Yeah, I'm like, you guys have to gauge his power correctly.
Yeah, like Superman can lift 5 quintillion pounds, and he can fast, or he can run fast. He can run. Uh, you know,
And
I don't
then,
know how fast can he run in the comics or in
I
certain
don't even know,
comics.
but when you see in Man of Steel though, he was the oil rig scene. Like,
Hmm.
I mean, obviously that was bad balance, so he wouldn't have held that up no matter how strong he was.
Yeah,
But like at the same time, I feel like his strength wasn't. It wasn't as. I mean, I guess he was a beginning hero.
yeah. I like to think that it kind of grew. Maybe.
He did, but at the same time, like he died. So when he came back, he shouldn't have been. No matter what, he shouldn't be that strong.
Yeah,
He
unless
wasn't.
death reinvigorated him.
He wasn't in the sun. So I
Yeah,
don't like that's literally hit the source of his powers. If he wasn't in the sun, then he does not have that power. I don't. But
and I'm curious to how that like soil lifted up at the end of Batman vs Superman,
because he
and
was
then he
dead.
just proceeded to sit there another year and a half.
Exactly. I'm like, please have everything have a meaning and not just to set up the next movie.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I get it. Yeah, okay, yeah, it's rising because we get okay.
Which is exactly why you shouldn't have killed him off in the movie anyway. Because then you kill him and no one cares, and then to make sure that no one cares, you show that he's still alive.
Mhm. And
Nah,
then, dang, if they decide to go through with everything and he plays Darkseid, who's gonna care?
yeah,
He's already fought Steppenwolf and like it was no issue. So I guess Darkseid's minions are just kind of pointless. And then at that point, it's only going to be Superman who can fight Darkseid because Wonder Woman and them are if they were useless against Steppenwolf, they're definitely going to be useless against Darkseid.
yes.
And then now
Batman shouldn't even be in the movie hardly.
Wonder Woman's villains are going to have to be nerfed because she's in Justice League. She sucked. I mean, I was like, wow, she's really like not strong. She was doing nothing. And I was just like, so, but that's
Is
also
that?
like a mismanagement of her character. I'm like, wow,
Oh
everybody,
yeah,
like, I know Zack Snyder is a huge fan of Superman and Batman.
mm.
Which
Mhm.
I don't know. I'm just like, dang, can we get somebody objective almost? Like somebody who has a passion for the characters, but like is not a fanboy of one of them.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, yeah, have a love for the genre, but don't do be like out here to make a movie like with an agenda for a character. Be like, oh my god, I don't know. There's just DC's giving me a headache because I don't think that it's accurate for anyone to pinpoint things because every issue that we can pinpoint has 100 like different things under its heading
Yeah.
that that contribute to that. It's an amalgamation of things because I'm like this whole video has to be a rant because it's impossible for us to articulate everything
Yeah.
without
And
giving examples. You know?
yeah. I was just gonna say, I think one of the problems with the movie was that we were talking about stronger together, but it almost was feeling like the movie was telling us that Superman had to come because he was so strong. And the whole time they were talking about bringing him back and how much they miss him and whatever, even though they barely knew him.
Yeah,
And
exactly. Yeah,
then and he's the one that saves the day and all of that. So it wasn't really that they were stronger together. It kind of just felt like, well, if we had just had Superman and maybe one other person, we'd be good. I don't know. It just, yeah.
that actually stuck out to me now. I'll be like, yeah, you guys didn't know him like that.
Hmm.
Batman knew him for a whole 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Wonder Woman knew him for a fight.
So I didn't like that message that it almost felt like we needed Superman or else it's over.
Yeah, like you didn't number one, yeah, you didn't see they didn't see his power at all. Like I don't know. Oh god. And then
And so, oh,
I wonder how many times Kryptonians were exposed to this type of like there didn't really seem to be any history in Man of Steel where they showed other Kryptonians going out to like stars and being powerful like that.
hmm,
And but then Steppenwolf says that there's no Kryptonian, so how would you possibly like? I don't know. I'm just like, I mean, how would Steppenwolf know about their power like that? Because even in Man of Steel, if you think about that, like I mean, he fought Zod once, and but if he didn't know anything about Kryptonians under the stars, he doesn't know how strong they were. Because
hmm,
they were taking down, and he calls them primitive. So how tough is he if Superman is just taking out primitive beings stuff? I mean, I'm just unraveling now. I'm just like, wow, you can unravel everything about these movies
yeah.
because it's just I'm like these are just really random. Like the storytelling was just not it's just not good.
And yet they're still planning to do all these other movies: Shazam, Batgirl, Justice League Dark, all these different ones. I think what we both think is probably what is best for them is that when you have made four movies that are divisive at best, in Man of Steel's case, and universally disliked, almost universally disliked at worst, with Suicide Squad and Batman or Superman, and then not much better Justice League, and then you have one good movie, Wonder Woman, and your most recent movie, the team up one, makes less than Doctor Strange or Suicide Squad or as much as Doctor Strange or whatever. When or maybe less, I don't know. But when you have a movie like that should have been easily $1 billion movie, Batman or Superman should have been $1 billion movie. When you have movies like that, at some point you got to say maybe we should just
Reboot,
cancel and reboot.
reboot, or even just stop and pick up another franchise.
You know,
Pick up something else.
I think they should reboot. They're clearly not wanting to. Obviously, they're in a tough situation with Wonder Woman and Aquaman because Aquaman's in the can, and Wonder Woman is a very popular character. But and then I think Matt Reeves is planning to do his trilogy, but it's going to take place in the past, which is why we're hearing rumors about Jake Gyllenhaal.
Jake Gyllenhaal would be awesome. I love Jake Gyllenhaal. Anything he's in,
Yeah, it's great.
But
And that could be interesting. The fact that you go into the past and maybe you see more of his villains and he's more in his prime.
If they recast him, Batman's not a wrinkly old man. Like it's obvious that he would still look like himself.
But that's kind of the same issue with Han Solo when you have like Alden Ehrenreich and then
yeah, we saw Han Solo.
Yeah, he was like 36. Is he going to look that much younger? 8 years?
I'm like, what?
Yeah. So yeah.
Whatever, y'all. But one thing I'm thinking is, it would be interesting if they just made like irrelevant character movies. like what if they totally stopped making like Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, it just like really did make a really good Batgirl and a really good Sirens or a really good Booster Gold and Blue Beetle movie or a really good Justice League Dark, but not call it that obviously because the Justice League brand is call it what Guillermo del Toro, Dark Universe or whatever. Just come up with a cool name for it and it just be the Justice League Dark, or even just make a Constantine movie. Because the TV show, I was like, wow, that TV show could actually flip into a movie really well. I think if they Constantine movie somehow and then made that the next one made it go into Justice, like him fighting or him at the end and something happens that he has to go find his other friends that are magic users. And that, I think that can be a natural progression into the movie. But whatever, it doesn't even the one comic book that sets up the entire Justice League Dark is good enough for one movie. Because I was like, those characters don't have that much of a rich history, so single movie for all of them it would be really bad because they'd be really boring. Like Zatanna doesn't need her own movie. I mean, as much as people would say, "Oh yeah, it'd be cool to have another girl," okay, well, don't have a girl movie just because she's a girl.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, make sure it's a good movie so that you don't ruin the reputation of female superheroes.
Yeah, we can't make a movie because of Elektra and Catwoman.
But yeah, like, dear God, can we please get? Yes, I'm so glad that Black Panther's already looking to be amazing, and because I was like, Black people are going to go to the movies now to go see it, and I'm like, you don't ruin. We have plenty. You can do whatever you want with white heroes because obviously people are going to keep going out to see white people. That's how it's always been. But like, people will be like,
specifically white men.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah. If you do it with female superheroes and it's not super awesome or well received, the people will be like, I don't know, Wonder Woman wasn't that good, so I don't know if I want to see the other ones.
Yeah,
and that's such a weird double standard when that happens. Well, yeah. Have you ever noticed that? I'll be like, wow, with anything that isn't like the norm, if it goes wrong one time, everybody, and like in general, people just lose trust in that complete.
Of course.
I'll be like, well, that's really bizarre. I'll be like, this is a complete different team and company behind this. Why would you even relate those two?
People don't like. They like the norm. They don't like to shake the boat. And if the boat is shaken and it rolls over, they think it's always going to roll over.
And one thing, even my sister said was that she said it, she was like, this might sound weird, but she was like, she just thought it was weird seeing a woman in that role that Wonder Woman was in. And she said that she didn't like it. And I was just like, that's so interesting that like we haven't really had like women in power like this.
Yeah.
So often to where even like women don't feel like good to go, like to see that. That like when she said that was just like, wow. Yeah. Like, how did that movie make so much money? People like that really was. I'm just like, that was actually for what it was. And I know so many people who I had to argue with them because they were saying they didn't have any interest in seeing a female superhero.
Really?
And I was like, and I was praying. I was like, Wonder Woman, please be good. It was, but I'm gonna go ahead and do Captain Marvel to knock it out of the park too.
Yeah, I think Wonder Woman was a good movie, and I think it's a game changer, and that's why it's going to be probably nominated for Best Picture. But predicting it right now, but it's definitely.
I still don't think it has any business winning. But yeah,
no, I don't even think it has any business getting nominated.
Exactly. Yeah. For other than it being a female led and like obviously them nominating it to get attention, I don't think it really has business. It's not that good.
I mean, I get it if you're doing it for ratings. I think that's wrong, but I get it if you're doing it for ratings. Yeah. But you know, to me, so you know, if we're going to nominate a comic book movie, let's jump to Logan. But yeah,
I really respect that. If that one got nominated, I'd be like, okay, that's a real contender. That's a good movie.
I mean, I think Patrick Stewart got nominated for a Critics' Choice Award. So
I would love for them to get nominated. It doesn't even have to be the film. It could be their performances. They all really like went all out.
Mm-hmm.
They don't get enough credit for playing like you. Imagine how silly you must feel playing superhero. And when you really give, and you're wearing that a really over the top costume, and you give a really amazing performance, and you can get. I mean, I feel like that actually, like Patrick Stewart, and then they weren't wearing like crazy costumes or anything, but playing Wolverine all that time, I feel like Hugh Jackman is really character was really, and he deserves some recognition for basically making that character like relevant.
Yeah.
I really don't see any like Wolverine is synonymous with Hugh Jackman now for me. Like I
Hmm.
just see him when I don't even, I've seen tons of cartoons of character. I still think of Hugh Jackman Wolverine.
Hmm.
Ooh, I love his Wolverine.
Yeah,
Like I don't think I just Logan is so good,
yeah. That's why I'm really hoping that it'll get some recognition. I don't know if it will, but
and it wasn't afraid to do things.
I
All
I
of
thought this.
all
Huh?
of the X Men were dead. like like don't be afraid to do it. Just do it.
Hmm.
Like you guys do it and make sure you have somewhere to go afterwards if you plan on keeping going. Make sure you have somewhere to go, but don't make the movie only so that you have somewhere to go. That's the only thing I can ask.
I think the thing that sucks about Justice League is that this year has been such a good year, or the past year was such a good year for different looks at genres. So we had Get
Mhm.
Out, which was a cool, interesting horror movie that dealt with race relations, and then you have Logan, which is like a Western comic book movie, and you have Spider-Man, which is like a John Hughes high school comedy or comedy uh, superhero film. You had Wonder Woman, which is female led. The No Man's Land scene, all of that was really well done. Origin story. Um, Thor was really interesting. You see, Blade Runner 2049 was an interesting sci-fi movie. Planet of the Apes. It was really a good year for genre type movies. Um, and so for Justice League, kind of seems like the odd man out to me almost. Star Wars is another one actually. It's divisive, but I thought it did some really interesting things. So Justice
Mhm.
League kind of sits out like the odd man out. It did kind of just by the books, and it didn't even do that pretty well. Didn't do that very well. So I think DC just needs to stop. They need to stop with this cinematic universe. Release Aquaman. I don't know what you do with Wonder Woman. To tell you the truth, that's going to be a hard thing to figure out. But they really got to. I think they should just end this. Um, I don't know why you would go to jump to a Flashpoint movie because that really is basically a Justice League 2. I don't know why you would jump to that.
I mean, at the same time, well, actually, no, it has to be because we haven't met anybody in the Flash universe, so it can't be just about Flash characters.
Yeah, and then I mean, if you're doing the Flashpoint, you're going to need Wonder Woman and Aquaman and Batman and Cyborg.
They back themselves into a corner.
Yeah, so I don't know why you would do that. Coming off the heels of a lot of bad movies, they just need to end it, I think, and stop announcing all these different. We're doing a Suicide Squad 2 and a Batgirl, and I don't
Yeah,
think they're doing Gotham City Sirens, but that was a thing a year ago.
and they sound crazy though when they say that too. I'm like, do you guys
Yeah, they
not
do. They
know
sound insane.
you're the Titanic right now?
Yeah, they do sound insane.
Because I'll be like, all of your movies have not done well and they're panned.
Yeah,
And, and why do you keep announcing more? Because there's no way you're making any money.
yeah. So I think they need to. I think it's good to listen to people and get feedback, but I think they take the wrong lessons. So they hear that these movies are too dark, so they think, oh, well, we have to add stupid jokes to them, or things like that. And it's like, or they're not. They seem to make Justice League in almost to like a bad version of a Marvel movie. Like it's just do your own thing, but you gotta. I don't know what to tell them. At some point, you have to go. Just make a good movie. I can't. I'm not running the studio. I'm not the director. I can't tell you how to make these movies, but I
Exactly.
can
You
tell you what I don't like, and
get it together. That's
and I
all.
can tell you what I do like. Yeah, because people are going to inevitably they're going to say, "Well, what would you do differently?" Don't ask me that. Tell them. Ask them what they're going to do differently. It's not working,
Ugh, DC.
and it's weird because the Wonder Woman worked, and Man of Steel worked for half the audience. I don't know. It's just, but even that, it worked for half the audience.
It's funny. Man of Steel and Wonder Woman are the best received. They're both fully fledged origin movies.
Well, that's the thing is, where are these? They thought they were doing interesting thing by jumping to these team up movies like Batman or Superman, Suicide Squad, Justice League, and they thought they were doing something different from Marvel. And just by doing the opposite of what Marvel doesn't just make your
Exactly.
cinematic universe good.
Exactly. I'm like, you can still have origin movies and be different from Marvel. Just have them come together differently too.
Yeah. Marvel has earned the right to do Civil War and Infinity War and Avengers 4 and all these movies. You know, they we've earned this. This May will be 10 years since Iron Man. You know, DC just doesn't have that sort of track record. And Marvel doesn't you can't point to one Marvel movie and say that was a garbage piece of crap movie.
Uh-huh.
You can say like, oh, this wasn't Iron Man 2 wasn't as strong, Thor 2 wasn't as strong, whatever. But you can literally point to DC movies, on the Rotten Tomato scores and be like, even if some people like this at 27%, come on. That means 27% of the critics didn't even think that it was okay.
Ooh, this is sad.
Or not 27%, excuse me, 83% of the critics didn't think it was okay. Sorry. Yeah. Only 27 thought it was at least okay.
This is very sad.
Yeah. So I think that's basically what our advice is just to clean house. There's some rumors that Ben Affleck might run it. I don't know how to feel about that. I guess I kind of feel good about it because he's good creatively. I don't know if any of this is true. We'll find out, I guess, soon enough. But they just got to end it because
That's all we can say. I think the issue is that it exists.
Yeah. I mean, Justice League making 650 million.
That's the issue.
That's a flop, but that's really screwed up.
I think that's what I'll leave this video saying is the issue is that it exists.
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't know. I don't know I can't tell you how to run a studio, Kevin Tsujihara, or who's ever running DC. But I can say you should find someone that knows how to run the DC universe. Find a Kevin Feige. Find a Kathleen Kennedy. Disney seems to, Star Wars has had its issues or whatever, but it seems like Disney knows what it's doing with its people who run the companies, the different subset studios. I don't know why DC doesn't have that. So they got to work on that. I'd say reboot it with some guy running it, some girl running, whoever running the universe. But until then, I think we're going to keep getting mostly not good movies. I think every once in a while there'll be a Wonder Woman and Aquaman. I think Aquaman could be, this year's Wonder Woman. And I hope all the movies are good, but I don't think they will be because I think it's a systematic issue or a systemic issue. And I don't think unless you fix unless you fix the system, we're just going to keep getting a bunch of garbage and a couple of good things. So I think that's about all we have to say. Is that all you had to say, Josh?
Yeah, that's all I have to say is that the issue, I think, with the DC extended universe is simply that it still exists. You just gotta give it up. You guys had success with Wonder Woman, which might have dug your hole a little bit because now nobody's gonna want to see another Wonder Woman that isn't Gal. But
yeah,
wow.
Part of me wishes that the movie had sucked, and I think that would have been bad for women and movies in general.
Yeah.
And so part of me is glad that it didn't suck, but part of me is also thinking this may have been better overall for the franchise if it had just sucked, and then we could start all over. But Wonder Woman is actually an issue for it, even though it's the best thing about it. Overall, I'm glad that it was good because I think it is going to help female-led superheroes and directors and creatives. I think it's good overall. But
I think we need Captain Marvel to do well too.
But, definitely.
Because Wonder Woman, I feel like I wouldn't. If I was in the studio, I would say, guys, we can celebrate that it was successful, but I wouldn't feel quite too confident yet. Because
no, it's not going to fix everything.
No, this time going around, though, I was saying was that I noticed a lot of people supported the movie because it was a woman and because it was like historic. And
Yeah.
so that's why I feel like there was also some type of I don't know. I feel like there was an extra support system this time around that might not be there for a sequel. So I'm just like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm like, I just hope that they can produce the same numbers.
And it
Because
doesn't help that she's part of the Justice League and all that.
yeah, they certainly didn't come to see her in Justice League either. So I really feel
Yeah.
like I'm like, I don't know. I feel like because I remember on Twitter it was a huge thing to go see Justice, just to go see Wonder Woman, to support females, to support women in the industry. It wasn't just because it was a good movie.
And then on top of it, the nice part is that it was good.
Yeah, I would say it was a great movie, but I also feel like it had to be. It was sad too watching that because I was like, wow, it was sad that so many people had to go see this movie to be told to go see it because they felt like they were supporting a movement. It just go see it because
Mhm.
it's a good movie and it happens to be a
Yeah.
girl.
Yeah.
Like, can people just like? I don't think not everything has to be an agenda. And why do people always turn everything like female superheroes as an agenda? Okay,
Mhm.
okay, even if it
You
is,
see, I mean, Black Panther is probably this year's Wonder Woman.
yeah. Now, Black Panther is gonna smash. I don't know if I know black people alone will make it some money because I
Yeah,
know.
actually, yeah.
Huh?
I was just going to say, maybe we should do a video on this, but I have a lot of thoughts about Black Panther and sort of what I think is going to happen. I have several predictions, and I have some thoughts about it. I'm really excited about it, but I think we have to. That's going to be our next video, Josh, because I have a lot to talk about with that movie.
All right, well, we'll save our thoughts so that people can come back and see it.
Yeah. So you do guys know what to do. Like, subscribe, comment, tweet at us, Facebook, message us, whatever. And as always, stay film smart.